know, it's true. So, couple of things to note. This morning, we have two different programs going on. We've got our service here. We also have a 5th grade family ed that Rabbi Erna is leading. They're going to be joining us. They're doing a learner's minyan now, and they're going to be joining us for the second half of our service. Rabbi Erna is going to be speaking a little bit later on, doing a text study with us. But I want to, without giving a full sermon, I want to actually make sure that we're ready for our Torah reading today. Today we are going to be reading the Song of the Sea, Shirat Hayam. We're actually going to be hearing two of the oldest poems that we have in our tradition, the Song of the Sea being one, and from the Haftarah, the Song of Deborah being another one. These are two very, very ancient poems that we have within our tradition. And when we get to the Song of the Sea, which in this triennial is going to be our first aliyah, we rise and we actually put ourselves as if we're back in that place, right? We imagine ourselves at the other shore of the Red Sea after it's been crossed. We imagine ourselves celebrating that moment. And you're going to hear, actually, a number of things as Diana reads the Song of the Sea. You're going to hear a change in the music because there's a special melody. It's called the traveling melody. I don't know why it's called the traveling melody, but it's the Song of the Sea melody that we sing during specific verses in the Song of the Sea, and that'll be our cue to actually participate. And so Diana is going to read the first part of the verse, and we'll join with her for the second part of the verse. So really and truly, just like the story, we're going to be singing along with. So we're standing, we're putting ourselves there. And it actually makes us think about the question, what would we have done if we were there, right? Imagine ourselves there. And we know that the Song of the Sea in this moment is not so simple for us as Jews, right? We know that from the Passover Seder. We struggle with it. We struggle with the suffering and the death of the Egyptians. We take the wine at the Passover Seder, and we take it out for each of the plagues because we struggle with the suffering and the death of the people, even though it seems very justified after 400 years of oppression. We still struggle with that. And I want you to think about that today as we read the Song of the Sea, because these same conversations that our rabbis had about the Song of the Sea and should we celebrate, should we not celebrate, how do we deal with that, those conversations are going on right now. They're going on right now as we're dealing with a difficult time in Israel, as we're dealing with suffering and tragedy. All of those things are part of our conversation today, and it's not about finding an answer to it, but it's about being part of, thinking about that and being part of the conversation. How do we want to portray ourselves? How do we want to hold ourselves as we're going through this? Even though the punishment sort of was justified back then, even though the response may be justified now, we still struggle with the suffering of any human beings. And it's something we should think about as we read this. So I want us to keep that in mind. And our Torah readings